Okay, welcome back to our, I don't even know what episode this is. Supposedly it's like 11.
Episode 11.
The first question here is, I want to know if this man is a follower, dude, in my podcast stream.
Yes, sir. Follower of Christ?
Do you follow my podcast?
Oh, do I follow? I was like,
I put you on the spot just for
am I
fun.
a follower? I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm a follower.
Do you follow?
Follow? No, I don't. I need to.
I like that.
I need to.
That's freaking hilarious. I knew you did it. Only because, actually, I don't know. This is how stupid I am to YouTube. I don't really know how to even check followers. And Instagram, for that matter. I'm horrible at social media. But this is enlightening to me. It's a new way. It's a new way. People think they, Instagram, all TikToks, all of the social medias. Obviously, Facebook's, kind of a thing of the past. But we had MySpace. Do you remember that?
I'm old enough to remember MySpace.
He is old enough to remember that. I'm not going to tell you how old he is. We'll leave that later in the stream here.
I know.
But
maybe the camera will pick up some of the grays.
He's definitely not as young as you think. We should talk about that. But but the following thing is very important because you have to learn how to navigate it, right? Like you're a customer kind of person, or whatever. And I don't care. That's why I'm so hippie-ish. I don't care if anyone follows me. I'm gonna do this regardless. I think it's fun. I think it's good information. I've always been a talker of sorts.
Yeah.
Probably too much. Whatever. I don't care. But I asked that question because I have 22 followers. That's all I know. I can see 22 followers on there. My kids follow me. And I'm trying to build this thing, and I'm hoping in 5-10 years, we get a couple hundred,
Yeah.
a couple thousand. I mean, I know how that works, right? And once again, it's not for the likes, the TikToks, it's for good information, great information through like a spiritual filter. I'm a man of God. I've studied the Bible I still study the Bible every day. I read this morning. I drew a circle around myself in the garage. I pray, I feel like I'm one of the last of the Mohicans of people trying to actually live a godly Christian life. I feel like so much of it is just cultured, it's all governed. And we're gonna talk about that today with the Christian music industry a little bit. So let me introduce, this is Sambo, also known as Sambo. Everyone calls you Sambo?
Everyone calls him Sambo.
Okay.
My dad Sam is the thing.
His dad's a cool
dude. So you say Sam, it's like, oh, this is my dad. Because we're tight and we're always together.
I know, you guys are always together, dude.
So yeah.
Even when you guys came to help me out, dude, after the school, you guys are together. I love it. And you get along with him so well.
Oh, we're best friends.
That's a testimony.
Yeah, he's
bro.
Awesome. Yeah.
This guy's single, by the way. You have a girlfriend?
Single.
Single. If you ever get married, your dad could be your best man, bro. Who would you have, your brother or your dad?
Probably my brother.
Because it's more normal that way?
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
But
you get along with your brother.
And what?
You get along with your brother great, right?
Oh, yeah, we do.
I've only met him once, I think. I haven't even met him. Not being disrespectful. I don't remember ever meeting him, but I may have met him. So.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Is he cool?
I mean, we had the band together. We were, since high school, we were back pretty much from 1999 when we started the band until, we toured for a long time, 20 years, 25 years.
You guys toured 20 years?
Yeah.
Together? And you never killed each other? Or you did? Sibling rivalry? Not too bad?
We're really close, and every day, because we were in high school when we started the band, so it's we lived together with our at our parents' house.
And you're not twins.
And then we're not twins, and then we were on the road, so every single day we were together for yeah.
That's a testimony, once again, to God, to the family, and really to your parents and to your father, right? He taught you some things not to hate each other, not to probably talk down to each other, right? Like, I know your dad, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
So you guys process those, and I pray to God that my kids stay close together through thick and thin. In fact, my daughter Madeline, hey Maddie, she follows me. Thank you.
Hey Maddie.
Bye. Maddie is coming into town from North Dakota tomorrow.
Cool.
What's tomorrow? Thursday? No, the next day, Friday. I'm excited because we had a little happenstance in our family with Robert, his health issue for the moments, temporarily. Anyhow, so Matt is coming to support us, right? To be with our family. So I think that's a very cool trait that we need to have. And I think I really give testimony to your parents. But so this is Sambo, and he's single, and his brother will probably be his best man. But my son and I were talking about how he wants me to be his best man.
That's cool.
And he asked me, would I want to be his best man, or should I? Would I? I said I would. Oh no, he said, would you want to like do my wedding and be my best man, or something like that? Or just no, he said, just enjoy yourself at the wedding. And my son's single, by the way. He's only 15 or 16 now. But he goes, what did he say? He was like, I'd rather have you be my best man. I said, I'd rather be your best man than enjoy the wedding. I mean, that'd be an honor. So anyhow,
it is an honor.
It is. It's a testimony to relationship.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Which we need to have healthy. Men, it is known that men have the unhealthiest relationships to their sons, which is incredible. They're all gone working, trying to, survive, and then their kids just go off to the public school system, and that's a whole problem in itself, right? So I guess we could segue into something, but so one of the reasons why I asked Sambo to join us in our coffee this morning.
Yes.
This is not a sponsor. This is the Costco one that I bought, and that's a coffee brew that we get free here at the place. So how's the cold brew? Is it nitro brew?
Nitro brew.
How's the nitro brew?
It's good.
Is it great?
Actually, I blended the nitro brew with
did?
what you did.
Oh, yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
cool. I should have done the
So
same thing.
Yeah, it's
Double the
nice.
fun.
Little shot to open up the eyes.
I know. I should have probably did that. That's pretty
Shot
cool.
of caffeine.
So the reason why I brought Sambo on today is because I really feel like, the Christian music industry is so crazy and wild and horrible and all its field. And he is a professional musician of both hobbyist, of both income, of both professional skill level. Everything you could think of, I think of like an artist would be. Producer, right? Would you say producer, right? Because you record
I record
as a
people
studio
and,
for other people's stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all important because that really is a testament. Once again, it's like Mel Gibson, right? You see a lot of these guys who, they're not just like actors. That's what people think. They're producers. You start seeing their credits. Oh my gosh, he produced that movie. He was a director and producer of his own movie. You start to see higher levels of competency. Ron Howard's one of them. I'm not saying that they're good people. I don't know them. I'm just saying Denzel's up there. Where they do a lot
Just
more.
talented.
You go from like skill set to talented to gifted, or really not, maybe opposite, gifted to talented, but then you start to multiply it and you start to be productive in it,
Yeah, because people don't realize all the work it takes to make music, and it's so
which we enjoy every day.
And we do, but the whole process in the business side of it is you have your songwriters, and that's different from the artist. You would think that the person singing writes the songs, and that's very rare.
Right.
There's a team of songwriters, and then you have your band or your solo artist, the singer,
right.
And then they put the band together. It's and then even in the studio. A lot of time, those guys aren't even playing in the studio. You have studio musicians,
right? Who read the music, and then they dub it or whatever. And I get it. It's like it really does steal away from like the original, like the. And I get it. It produces records. It makes money, right? And everyone's trying to make money. I used to totally disagree with all that crap. Right? But now as I get older, I'm thinking, okay, I could see some of that, right? Like I could see if a guy, he doesn't want to always write music. He can't, right? Or can he? That's
a good debate to have because is it just laziness? Like, what are people's motivations for getting into music? Like, say you have a singer. Well, why are they in it? Are they in it just because they like getting on stage and singing in front of people?
Right.
Maybe they have a good voice, but they don't put the time into writing their own songs.
Right.
And I don't know.
And then if they're singing it with the passion, right? And as an artist, it's almost like stealing away from you if you wrote your own music, right? And you wrote your own personal journey of a song, and then you give it to someone else to get famous on. Does that happen?
All the time.
Right. That's
all the time.
And that would be challenging. I mean, if I wrote something about my dead mother, you know, or something, and then some guy stole it from me, or not stole it, but like borrowed it, I stole whatever because I couldn't make it work, and he goes off and sings to the sunset, you know, it's like that would be very challenging, you know, and that's the world we live in.
But and what happens too, especially because I'm a musician, I know, so we'll geek out over music a little bit.
I love it. No, this is why we're doing this. And I also
like,
I want to talk about Michael Tate and some of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Music tragedy, if you will, in the Christian world.
Man, so
but go on.
Is the singers disconnected from the song because they didn't write it? It's not
in them. It's right. That's where you get to the core and the soul of somebody.
And so when I hear music and turn on the radio or Spotify playlists or whatever, you can hear the disconnect. Right. There's no soul.
Right.
They lost. They never had it.
Right.
Because the singers are not the ones that are writing the songs.
Right.
And the people that are playing the music are just hired guns in the studio. Oh, here we make this work, you know. And so they're not putting their heart and soul into the music.
How many instruments do you play?
As a musician, you can pretty much pick up anything and play it. It's not a me thing. It's just common to musicians.
But skilled musicians. Professional musicians.
As far as play well, I've recorded. I mean, bass is my main.
Bass
is my main.
And you're all over that.
That's
thing. Like Primus. Remember Primus? Or remember those old bands?
I love
Primus, bands. Man. Is that like
Primus sucks?
Do they suck? Wait, Primus. I remember that. Primus sucks. Dang, my friend said that shirt. I remember that.
Yeah.
So you're just
that was my first rock concert. Was Primus.
As a kid?
Yeah.
There's his age again. He's saying his age.
16 years old. My brother, for my birthday, got tickets to go see Primus, and so I turned 16. I got my license. Yeah, me and my brother.
Good for you, musicians.
Yeah, and we went and saw.
Your dad's a musician.
Amazing. Yeah,
your brother's a musician. Yeah. So it is really in his genes, and that's kind of similar. I could understand a lot of this purity with our sports. You know, I'm a purist of sports, and there's so much that bothers me within the school system, the collegiate world. It's horrible, disgusting. It makes me so mad. It's nothing but a war, and the AIA rules and the CIF rules, and we just had a guy a coach tell us that if Robert, my son, practices, plays football, throws a football at a park on Saturday with someone from another high school, his old friends from another high school in Arizona, he can be disbanded for the whole year. And it's so controlling. It's so stupid. And that's really what we've done with everything in the music industry. It takes away the life and the joy. One of my biggest, dude, if I can get it back, I told you, one of my big dreams is to open some type of performing arts center. You know, I was a manager of one for 7 years, and God just exposed me to so many variations of skill level and talent and people who had like crazy gifts. And I'm like, that's where I want to see the Christian world go. And I feel like the Christian world copies the world. And that bothers me because they're trying to do I wouldn't doubt if a Christian artist goes to the exact same channels and pathways, the worldly ones, the bad ones, than the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
does that happen?
I'll tell you, because I was on tour. And we had like one of the assistants, one of the roadies, you know, good kid, and just naive,
To how it all works.
Very naive to everything. And so we were talking about, the Christian music industry and everything. And he was saying at his church, like he wanted to be mentored by his pastor because he wanted to get into the ministry and be a pastor and all that kind of stuff. So he went to his pastor and said, hey, the ministry is something that I want to do. Like, what's my next steps? Like, I don't know how to do it. And can you tell me? And so this pastor told him, don't go to seminary, go to business school, because the church is a business. And those are the skills that you need. And I'm like, if this is in the church, how much worse do you think the Christian music industry is?
Oh my gosh, I just thought about that.
It's even worse.
That's a shocking point because it's already sensual, right? It's already like about me. Like you're already dealing with so much of that flesh. Look at me, I'm on stage, right?
Yeah, the ego,
and then what you
lights,
said is if it's in the pastor, like if it's in the core of the church, quadruple that in the music world. And
exactly.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
It's even.
Is this why I can't stand Christian music? Like I feel like it's all the same. Now, but here's the deal. Would you agree that there's some insane Christian artists out there though? That are like better than the world and like, you know what I mean?
There's talented people, man.
Who's some good ones?
There's talented people everywhere.
Who are some good ones that are just pretty like solid that you know? That are like, or just sound good that are like, those are, they write the music. Yeah.
Wait,
Christian artists.
Lincoln Brewster is a Christian, right?
Lincoln Brewster.
Brewster?
Maybe. I mean, a lot of them, and that's another thing, a lot of them are so good that they can literally.
Maybe somebody there can tell us. I think Lincoln Brewster is a Christian.
I don't know.
And that dude can play guitar, man.
But there's so many Christian musicians that are not deemed Christian artists. You know who I really like is that dude who goes into prisons and he sings like Christian songs, but he's sick, dude. He's so good. He's all tatted up, but he's like, I'll have to look him up. He sings I'm a survivor. Oh, so good. But you could tell he's like bleeding it, you know what I mean? Like he's just even, his half his life is on drugs and stuff. Like he's just such a good dude. But it's like, it's real though to him. Like he's preaching the gospel, loving people, and he's not trying to be like all Christian, it's just a different mindset.
It is a different mindset. It's like when you use your gifts for God, like I said earlier, there's like a disconnect with commercial musicians. Right. Once it becomes a job, it stops being from the heart and soul.
What about pastors? To some degree, right? Give me that money.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these mega churches here. Like, everyone knows, so no offense to anyone on there, I've never been a fan of mega churches. Jesus would minister to, and they'll say he ministered to the multitude, correct, but he also talked with one person. And these pastors, they have these mega churches of 10,000 people. That pastor is not ministering to anybody. He's not. He's running a show. He's running a program. Lights, camera, action. They actually hire production managers. That's your position. I know because I actually applied and I wanted to see how far this goes. I've had interviews with these people. Like they want you to run soundboards and all stuff. That's the only talent you have to have. You could be drug, sex, and rock and roll, but as long as you can run a board or a mixer, you're in. And it's like great, do the lights and I'm like, man, fog machines. It's crazy how far, that little timer in the back. We're so far away from anything called church. But that stems into the Christian music because like you said, it's it's 5 times more.
It's even worse because you don't have people looking for a sermon.
Production.
You know what I mean? Like
production. Think about it. What's a production? It's a product, right? A product. That means you need a consumer right? That if you're going to these churches and they're hiring a production manager, which they are, by the way, you can go look it up. Go type in church production manager or a church production leader or something. It will be all over there. And then they hire those people, a product, produce. That's where we get the Latin word from, right? Then you have a consumer, because you can't have a product like a car without a consumer, because it's just there, right? So to produce something, or even a fruit, you got to eat the fruit. That's a produce. So your produce, you got to have something to eat it, right? And then the body of Christ, us, the people that attend these places, are the consumer. which now officially starts a business. It is not the church of God. We are not participating in worship. We are watching a show.
We're watching a show.
Watching a show. You
Now
know?
you could say it's an inspirational show.
Sure. Yeah, but that's the downfall, right, of America, because the church has lost its power. It's lost its like authenticity. In fact, this channel, which you don't follow, is called Authentic. It's like we'll be. I think it's called. What is it called? I think it's called like Motives Matter. But then like underneath it'd be like we'll be authentic.
Yeah.
One of my whole goals is that we get people in the church that become so authentic they become the church again. And we're just real people. Talking about real topics, but
yeah. So in the Christian music, there's a thing. Well, I guess I got.
if it's a thing,
so many things.
say it. It's a
like,
thing.
There's a joke that's called the JPM, the Jesus per minute. Instead, because it's a play on like BPM, like beats per minute is a music term, like how fast the tempo of a song. They call it the JPM,
That's a
Jesus
thing.
per minute. Yeah, and the songwriters know that are writing the songs for the, and so it's like, oh, we don't have enough JP. Okay, we got to throw Jesus in there because we
and it's
don't
like,
have,
and then it's like, where's
like,
the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, right?
It's forced.
Where's the inspiration of like
None.
of God? Well, and now I get it, because let's separate it. Let's separate church from when you hear on the radio, right? Like a Christian rapper, he's not going to go to church, and I'm cool with that. I really am. And I don't think music is Christian or non-Christian. I don't think athletics is Christian or non-Christian. I don't think your gifts and talents, your base is not Christian or non-Christian.
Yeah.
So we have to use that accordingly. You know, where do you use that? Where do you use those talents? And I don't want to be judgmental, and especially for everyone out there too. We shouldn't really be any like judging of their hearts and their motives. But when you look at the collective group, right, of like Christian music, speaking, I guess we could talk about Michael Tate. Michael Tate, for those who don't know, is the Newsboys and DC Talk like founder. Was he? And
Yeah.
he was the main singer. Look him up. And he was basically a guy who fell into grievous sin, and he didn't really fall into sin like a David per se. He would live the life of sin since he was like 18 years old. He graduated from Liberty University. I looked it up. I kind of did some of my own research because we talked about him before. And I've had my hang-ups since Keith Green. You know, Keith Green. Do you remember Keith Green? You ever heard Keith Green?
Yeah, that's more like,
Keith Green,
Yeah.
I think God took him out because he would be so pissed. He would like yell at people at his concerts. Like, you guys need to repent. Like, this is crazy. Like, what are we doing here? This isn't a show. This is like to know God. Like, so his music was very commanding, and some say he was a little over the top. I went down. God wiped him out for a reason. But this guy made a business, multi-millions of dollars. He was in movies, you know, and that is one of the things is he's a propped up star, but yet living as a Christian, but made his life upon literally the gospel because he's preaching Christ, he's singing Christ.
Yeah.
You know, he's saying, follow Jesus, follow me, I'll teach you how to know Jesus, and, you know, come to our concerts, Christian. And yet he's a fully perverted, lost person. And so that's how we know that it's broken, right? Because it's like politics. Hopefully no one buys that they're our friends, right? I love Trump, I'm a Trumper, but he ain't my friend. He ain't calling me on my deathbed in time of need. I'm trusting God, you know? And so these guys aren't trusting God, they're trusting their systems, their machines, their songwriters, you know? They're far away from God, you know?
And a lot of, because we had been in the Christian music industry, we were signed to a label and toured with a lot of the bands and know a lot of the people. And through, let's see, I mean, without going through the whole history of everything,
Sure, or tell us the story.
we got blackballed from the Christian music industry.
How so?
For being Christians.
Oh, I get it.
And having convictions and standing up for what's right. And for treating music, as we were on tour, for treating it as a ministry to show the love of God to people.
Right.
Not just to be on stage and perform and sing it,
Right.
but to actually live it and be
Right.
with the people.
Right.
And they wanted us to be rock stars and stay backstage and not be with the people.
Right.
And
Psychology. psychology, like use the methodology of the world. I was at a church one time, and this guy who ended up cheating on his wife, by the way, he was actually like my second cousin or something. I was looking to be a pastor, and I was a pastor, and then he invited me to like help him start this church. Well, it was already started, but maybe like assistant pastor, whatever. Anyway, a long time ago, the guy ended up leaving his wife, but I look at the pattern of his psychology. He was never really close with God, praying for converts, asking people to like be a part of the ministry. He was trying to use me because I was super charismatic. I'm funny, you know, like it is what it is. I'm a communicator. So, and I was a worship leader at the time. I played music. So he basically like, hey, you should help us, right? Get something out of it.
Yeah.
So what's funny is he would put the chairs in a row, and then he would take out, so when church would come, he would have them in the back, and he would only set up like 12 rows, 13 rows, 20 rows. And I would say, well, why don't you more people are coming, why don't you just put more? And he literally put his hand around me like the snake. He goes, it's all psychology. He's all, if we have empty chairs, it looks bad on the church. He's all, if we have to put out more, everyone thinks, wow, we're really growing and they're really part of something. I'm like, dang, all you're doing is manipulating the hearts of God's people.
Manipulation,
right?
man.
And it's sick.
Mind games,
right.
Manipulation. It's like,
so if you stay backstage, right, you create
an aura.
Yeah, right.
And
like I've never met Hannah Montana or Garth Brooks, right?
Exactly.
It's bigger than my mind, right? Instead of you're just a human being who plays
guitar. But then you're creating an idol. You're lifting these people up on stage, and you're making
100%. Well, look at Michael Tate. He's an idol to a lot of people. In fact, he's like a little icon. You know, he's in Wikipedia. You know.
And the message shouldn't be from any pastor or anybody serving is not look at me, but it's like Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. Like our eyes, it should never be like, it sounds like we're bashing Christian music, but a lot of people will be disheartened by it because like, oh wait, so you're saying my favorite Christian artists are not good people and blah, 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 blah. That doesn't matter. If you're a Christian, you don't follow these people, you follow Christ.
Good point. Good point.
Now, if these people can sing something that inspires you, great. But don't worship don't worship the messenger.
Right. But it's the worldliness, right? It's the secularism in us too, right? And in them. So it will never be solved, but I mean, we could do better.
But everything we do is like the musicians on stage. There's light, you know,
we're not
a pedestal.
Dude,
it is a pedestal.
Right. We're not helping it with all the churches. Like the churches are not helping it, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And then they
making it worse.
Right. They feed into it. You have
the green rooms now, you know.
You have rock star pastors, pastors that are like
skinny jeans. I call them skinny jean pastors.
Yeah, but they're on a pedestal, which is where you put idols and all that stuff, which is totally what we're not supposed to do.
100%. 100%.
It's disgusting, man. And instead of like a good pastor will say like, hey, don't. I'm here to teach. I'm here to help. To lead you, but like you need to do the work for yourself. Don't take my word for it. You get into the Word of God and you pray because you have that connection to God. Like, don't take it from me. I'm not God. You know what I mean?
How many times on a tour, right? Or because you've been doing this a long time. I'm not telling you his age, but he ain't as young as you think. He just looks like he's 20. But how many times did you have to, for me personally, and you maybe, did you have to reason out jealousy? Because you see them succeeding, right? And you go, am I wrong? Am I broken? Why am I not? Because they are doing the steps to climb that corporate ladder, right? But they're not getting their heart closer to God. And so, did you ever have a time where like, dude, like when you're blackballed, you're not good enough, right? Because you go through those things. I don't get it. Lord, why not us? And did you ever go through some of that? I mean, I know I have. Like, not necessarily jealous, but just like insecure. Not jealous, because honestly, at the end of the day, I think we know that a lot of it's crap, dude. If we're honest with ourselves. But I wrestle with a lot of insecurities. Like, do I not get something? Is there something in my brain that just doesn't click? Like, I can't just go like fanboy a pastor in his tight jeans. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, and I constantly brought it back to my heart, you know?
Well, you know, that's the crazy thing is, like, when we got blacklisted, and they trashed our name. Nobody would work with like the highest powers in Christian music. They sent out letters to people, to promoters, to everybody. Don't work with these guys.
Just because you don't go along with the program.
Because we don't go along with the program.
Dude.
And it's not like what we were even doing was wrong. Our stance was, we are not rock stars.
Right.
We are as ministers of
well, here's the problem
God to these people. And you know what? We go on stage, we do the show, we play all that, but that's just part of it.
But here's the problem.
Coming down off that stage and being with these people and showing them the love of God, listening to them,
being humble, right?
You know,
so
that's where the. That's
but
where
what's
the
funny?
starts.
Here's what's stupid. Here's the lesson, guys. If you really are paying attention to how life works, what's funny in big business, you know those guys like the big world, right? Because it's God's principle. I've met some of the Beastie Boys, at Ad Rock. I've literally like been backstage with some of these dudes. I've been on stage with like Jack Johnson. I've jumped on stage with Pennywise, whatever. I've just been like, I'm Beastie Boy, Bad Religion, you know. I've been at parties like, I've met face-to-face guy, like just different people, because you know these playing these dive bars, whatever, and you meet these people, and just the music, and I met other pretty well-known famous people before, and I'm like, big deal, boxers, whatever, and one, I'm not fanboying them, but two, they're human beings. The ones that are like the coolest, the ones I remember the most. The ones that are like, hey man, what's up, dude? I remember I met Tony Hawk and Jamie Thomas at the skate contest, and we were skating, and I had my skateboard, and I was walking by, and Jamie Thomas and Tony Hawk were literally right there. They weren't judging the contest, but it was a big demo from a skateboard company called Active, and this was a big California thing, and it was, you know, I think it was like a grand opening, and they were having like a demo or something. And I walked by and I said, I looked at you guys, and I looked at Tony Hawk first. I'm like, hey, you're Tony Hawk, dude. And I said, you're Jamie Thomas. And he's like, thank you. And he's like, yes, we are. And they were really cool. And I said, man, dude, they were just sitting right there, like talking about like a truck or something. And I said, hey, just letting you guys know, you guys rip, man. And he goes, dude, I see you skating. And I said, you rip, dude. And I said, thank you, dude. And I think he was serious, because I was skating right there the whole time. And they were just humble people. It was just humble people.
Yeah.
Like, those are the people who do better in life. That whole facade is a lie, bro. It's just a lie. The world tries to do it, but what's sad is the Christians buy into the lie. So we're really not even talking Christian or non-Christian. What we're talking about is a lie.
And an ego.
And an ego, which is a lie.
It's a lie, yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's the opposite of being a Christian.
Right. That's why I trip out on why Christians can't just be them dang selves. Like, what are we trying to do? Like, I mean, I know we fanboy a lot, and I get that. Kind of. But why? But why do we, why? And then what's funny is here's the thing I've realized, the least you fanboy, right? Fanboy's like, what do you guys use it? What do you call it? Like, what do you call it nowadays? What else is the term? We used to call them like,
groupies?
I don't know. Yeah, people who follow people, right?
Groupies.
But like, the more you idolize somebody else, I'm convinced it's because you're so deeply insecure that you want to satisfy something in you that you don't have, and it's going, oh, look at them. And there's an elation. Go, oh, I just met, a famous person. I met that. Wow, my life is satisfied now. And because you're not satisfied with who you are as a person, and so there's a lesson to be learned. But my thought is, like, in the music industry or the Christian industry, you're taking away from their money, because they don't want you in that industry.
Without me even telling you all the details, you already see it, because that's the nature of people.
It's the nature of life.
And that's what people told us. Oh, the only reason that you guys go out off stage and hang out with all these people is to bring them over to your merch table and to sell them stuff.
Right.
You're salesmen.
Right.
I'm like, no. I'm like, you got, okay. I was like, okay. Yeah, you could always look from the outside and say, like, that's what it looks like.
Sure.
But is that why we're doing it?
Right.
So on the tour that was like the final straw that got us kicked out, they told us, yeah, stay backstage all night. Don't come out. And they use that as an excuse. You're trying to take people away to sell. We're like, okay, fine. And they're like, I tell you what, we'll shut down the merch table. No sales. You think that was good enough for them? No. Because that was us telling them it's not about the money, and we'll prove it to you. We'll shut down the merch tables while all the bands are stuff, because we're not here for the money. Right. We're not here as salesmen.
But see, they want you to because they make money off you, right? So that's the thing, and it goes to any for Christian schools to teach to mega churches, to any Christian, but just life in general. When you don't go along with the program, you're robbing somebody, right? Like, perfect example, we go to prison. When you don't go along with the program of your race in, like, let's say a level 3-4 yard prison, you were taken away from the clout of the prison control gang. People don't think like this. When you take away from a certain political movement, you are taken from the politicians' lobbying. So it's crazy that people don't think bigger than them. But my sister said this. She's pretty smart. She says, dude, you want to find something? Just follow the money. Just follow the money.
Follow the money.
You follow school systems. You want to know school systems suck so bad? Because they literally have to have a butt in the seat. They can care less if they teach you that they get their money from the state tax dollars by having a kid in the seat. If there's no kid in the seat that says present, they get less funding. So that's why they'll take you all, they'll promise you that they're going to teach your kids the world, and they're going to become so smart and educated, and they're not teaching them crap. They're teaching them 5 subjects that have been around from the beginning of history, and they don't help in a modern society. But it's money. It's money.
We thought when we toured, and there's no reason to name names because they're all like it. So it's like, why single somebody out when they're just playing the game like everybody else? So, but some of the biggest rock bands in Christian music we toured with, we thought we were friends because you're with them for 2-3 months at a time.
Almost Christian friends, like more than friends.
Yeah,
like godly brothers and sisters.
Like
right.
Well, homies, like we see each other every single day,
sure.
Like going through the grind together, and so we thought we were tight and all that. Well, come to find out, we hear through the grapevine, like, oh, they're never gonna play with you guys ever again. We're like, I thought we were like friends. Why would we not?
It's a business decision.
And they go, because when you guys are on tour with them, they make less merch money. Because people like you guys,
follow the money.
And so now they're having to divide that pie with you guys. And when you're not there and it's just some local band opening up, they get all of the merch sales.
Right.
And I was like, they're not going to tour with us because we take from their merch
sales.
So
then, the Bible says that money is not evil. Money is a neutral thing, and it's a spiritual thing, I think. But I think money is an amazing thing.
It's the love of money.
It's the love of money.
Greed.
The love, and when you and the thing is, it satisfies in something that you don't have, and so you're like, oh, I can't, I'm ugly. Okay, so I'll go make money, or I'm stupid, or I'll go make more money. So money is like a general solve all. You think of like a unintelligent. Not good looking, overweight, slothful person coming in. But if he has money, right? It solves everything, right? He can't talk well, he can't communicate well, it is what it is. But if he has money, you go, ooh, look at his car, right? So money is a solve all, and it's very deceptive because it doesn't make you micromanage your heart and figure out all of the reasons why you're doing it. One of the sickest things, and this is why I do my school or my entrepreneur classes, is because I'm so sick, I'm disgusted, and I taught in the high schools for 2 years. Well, I taught 3 years before, but it was a continued pattern. And then I went to college when I was 40 or 35, and I went to a full-time school. I was on campus with the kids, like full-on nerd, and my family. It was crazy. I was like the old guy that people thought was creepy, and then they wanted to get to know me. So it was really cool. But I saw a lot. What do you want to do for a living? I don't know, I'm trying to make money. You sound stupid.
Yep.
Oh, and you're Christian. That's even worse. Everyone wants to make money, right? You have no passion, no zeal, no desire, no skills, no talents, no gifts. You just want to make money? That makes no sense. You need money to, it's like breathing. You will make money. You will learn how to sell. You will figure things out. But get your heart right with God. And what we've done is Christian schools, churches have taught people. I guarantee I'm banned from everything. I guarantee it. Because they don't, so many churches don't have a pure heart. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get the motive, the tuition, right? They're trying to.
Big business.
It's all business, dude.
Big business.
And if you say you're Christian, people go, ooh, you must be, I want to buy something from you. And I'm like, dude, that's the one. Dude, if I see a sales, if I see I know we're getting off a little bit, but if I see a tie, I don't take you seriously. See, that's the exact opposite of the rest of the world. Oh, he's a judge, or he's this. I'm like, dude, he's a judge in man's world, so he's probably just following the law, no justice. He's probably a pastor, an old school pastor. I don't really see the interest of how that's going to benefit anybody. Or he's a salesman, and he's so messed up on the inside that he's got to pretend that he's something on the outside. I don't want to buy anything from you. So like, I have no value for that. Or insurance guy or something, I don't know. Even President Trump, dude, if I saw Trump with a tie, I'd be like, that's cool because the president, right? Maybe that's about the one person in life that I would give. I don't believe in the tie, man. I don't see the point. I could tell the history of the tie too, but that's for another day. The history of the tie is stupid. It makes it's a collar on your neck. But you know what it's for?
Since you're on it.
So the tie was invented because conservative people, religious people, they wanted to be the best dressed, and it was the buttons of a shirt. Well, that last button represented the belly button. It looked like a belly button, and everyone would be like, it's a belly button. And it's like you're almost like you're naked and you're exposing a little bit because it reminded them of a belly button. So they said, well, let's just get a tie to cover everything so the navel doesn't really show. Once again, more show, right? Like, I could sell you something with my shirt off in a pool. I have nothing to hide. Good product. You just see my point?
Yeah.
What are you hiding? Why do you gotta look so good when you do a presentation? Why does everyone do that? It's all psychological. It's all fake, bro. We live in a very fake society. I have some friends in Mexico, and they're amazing people. They're like the antithesis of fake. Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for our conversation today. And Chris, they literally built their house in Mexico, like Tuito, Mexico, central Mexico, way down there. And they're amazing human beings, bro. Born and raised in America, but they find no value in our culture because our culture is delusional. We could walk right by somebody, dude, even in a church and there are brothers and sisters, and just not completely ignore the creative image of who God made them to be.
And especially the
no
culture,
joy, nothing. It's weird.
For musicians here, it's rough because, like you said, everything is about money. So you have the schools directing people away from their passions, not investing in them. They're telling them, no, you're going to do this and this and this and this and this. Right. Whether or not they're good at it or like it, they don't care. They're just another
chase college,
in the system.
Right? Chase the 5 subjects that they tell you to chase,
so
and you'll be rich and famous.
They suck the life out of people. They suck the passions out of people. Mm-hmm. And then what happens to the people that do have a passion and conviction? Say like the creative people, the musicians, the artists. They told my brother in high school, because we got signed when my brother was a junior in high school, and we were going on our first U.S. tour 3 months with Skillet.
Skillet?
Yeah, it was
They're
Skillet.
A big band.
Yeah.
So you got signed in high school with that big of a band?
Yeah.
Back then?
That was our first. And so.
Who's the biggest person you ever played with, or even just been around with? Christian one. I mean, Skillet.
Yeah.
Have you played with worldly people? Because I know they do. It's not bad.
No, like big shows and stuff. And we played some festivals with bands,
big bands.
It's not like you're whatever.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, so my brother dropped out and got his GED, but his math he was a junior.
Well, they say
we get signed. We have this 3-month fall tour lined up with Skillet, and my brother's in high school. And so he dropped out, got his GED. But his high school teacher said, math teacher.
Of course.
He was like, you're making a huge mistake to go chase your dreams. Sure. And you know what? In a couple of years, I'm going to see you and you're going to be serving me when I'm at McDonald's. You're going to be serving me up my fries.
I totally believe that because I was a teacher for a while. They say the stupidest things.
And so my brother came home and told me, I was like, this dude said what? I thought teachers were supposed to like
Encourage, right,
encourage and
right.
inspire you and help
Right.
you grow. And instead, this guy is like smashing it and saying, no, if you do anything outside
of the program,
of the program, no.
Yeah, we're very programmed people, and it's one linear path to success. And if you follow that path, everyone gets behind you and roots your way because because it validates them. So if he would go to math and become some famous mathematician, which no one's going to do, but it would validate him as a teacher, right? Even if he went to college, it validates him as a teacher. Even if he didn't go to college but just passed his class, somehow the culture would tell him that it validated that teacher. So now that he went to band and said, screw you, I'm not doing anything with that, it doesn't validate him any longer. So there's a deep root of insecurity behind all roots of needing money as well. Let me give you an example. I don't make a lot of money. Have I made a good amount of money? Absolutely. And have there been seasons where there's better money? Of course. My kids, I don't know how they see me, but I don't change. That's the only thing I'll say. Like my dad, I know a lot of wealthy people, and one time I was in his house, and I was like, man, you're just great, dude. He goes, you're crazy. He's like, I would love to have you around my office all the time. He'd be like a court jester. But like, because I just saw him as a normal human being. He's like a multi-millionaire. Like, I don't even know what he invented. He invented some like HR thing. Good for him. Killed it. Like several businesses. His podcast is like, I invented multi-million-dollar businesses. And he did it. And I was in his house. That was like, Chandler Heights there on the lakeside, whatever, 4,000 or 5,000 square foot. Beautiful, gnarly house, dude.
Yeah.
I just can care less. I'm just being honest, dude. Like, if you have to go in that office today and wear that shirt all day long and be that person that you don't want to be. Now, he didn't. I could tell. He was pretty much himself for the most part. That's why we get along so well. But I would never want to do that on the sacrifice of who I am. See, we don't teach anyone who they are. My kids are the same way. I'm like, dude, do you, man. Like, do you. The world hacked it with the homosexuality thing, and the world hacked it with all their sin. They get the piercings, the tattoos, be yourself. That's not being yourself. That's screaming for attention, right? Being yourself is beautiful in God's eyes. It's absolutely perfect.
Absolutely.
So that teacher, when you're taking those 5 subjects and they're trying to tell you that all they're trying to do that's no different than a prison workout, that if you don't program with the Mexicans on one side or the Southsiders on one side or the blacks or the whites in the Aryan Brotherhood, you're not getting with the program. Someone's going to be offended and be pissed that you did not get along with the program. There's no different. I'm telling you, prison principles, dude, are earthly principles. Christians have learned to adopt those worldly principles, not God's principles, not different kingdom principles, the principles of this earth. That's the problem. And so no one, I shouldn't say that, but I felt alone most of my 47 years on earth. Because in the world, when I was partying and stuff before 20 years old, but all the worldly people accept you.
And so, and I hear a lot of people are saying, well, at least, if as long as they have the covering of the church, they feel like, well, at least we're not them, you know what I mean? Like, we're the people outside of the church, at least we have something. And it's like, you know what? And it's the same in the Christian music industry. All the stuff that came out about Tate, all the other stuff that leaks out about different people, and people will defend it and say like, well, okay, Christians aren't perfect either, but at least we're not as bad as the other people.
Right.
And it's like, actually, you know what? You're actually worse.
I was going to say, his actually may be worse. Right. Because
the people not in the church, they have their own standard to live by.
Right. And then it's quite judgmental, right? Don't you think
it's very judgmental.
It's almost, I would think it, to be honest with you, if I was a total heathen and I was like gay or like just some average dude in the world or just like didn't care, and you judged me, you would say that they're better still. I'm like, dude, I know some very upstanding people in the world, bro, that don't believe in God, but man, they will give you the shirt off their back.
Yep.
They have character, they have integrity, or at least worldly integrity. They're not going to cheat. They're good people. So that's a judgment. Once again, that's a judgment. And I just think also, dude, I think in wrapping the whole thing up, Tate did come out with a like a statement.
Yeah, an apology.
Apology. And it was pretty deep. It was pretty heartfelt, maybe, I don't know. And some of the stuff that he committed were pretty heinous in terms of, I think he would go to jail if he was caught today.
Yeah, if the allegations are true, he should go to jail.
Yeah,
I mean,
if they are true, right.
Yeah.
And
he should not be in Christian music.
I'm not the judge. Right. That's the crazy thing.
Don't be in the ministry, man.
I mean, he's pretty much gay, I would say, or has gay tendencies. And then the assaults or like all that stuff. I mean, any teacher would be fired or sent to jail. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But it's funny because how did you get so far in the Christian realm without anyone ever going, wait a minute, your heart is deceptive. Above all things, who can know it? How come you do not produce the fruit of Christianity? I mean, this was a known thing in his group, right? How did not someone raise their hand? That's probably why you got kicked out. That's probably exactly.
Everybody knew it.
That's the problem. No one came out and said, dude, we got to go to the newspaper. This is sin. This is wrong. This is crazy. Like, I'm not that bad, but at the same time, I am calling out the megachurches. I can care less about and who knows about it. See, there's the problem. There's the freedom, right? So I'm not going to go and call out every sin, and that's judgment, and that's probably wrong. And I see a lot, being in Christian ministry, I've seen a lot of silly stuff and bad stuff.
Well, okay.
But my antennas go up, and I do address them. I do address them, and then I don't want nothing to do with that thing,
Okay, let's just hypothetically, you take a Christian group, right? And one of the guys is doing really bad stuff that he should be reprimanded for. Think of all those other people in the group. Why would they not hold him accountable?
Right.
Because they're all doing the same things.
That's the Bible verse. He says that if you're
all doing the same stuff.
Yep, they're all doing the exact same things.
Maybe. You know what I mean?
In fact, if we're going to judge, the Bible says that judgment comes to the house of God first. Yeah. So Christian artists should be held to that higher standard immediately. Same with churches, same with Christian schools. They should be held to a higher accountability to the things of God. Like those teachers. Man, I've heard the worst things come out of Christian school teachers' mouths. Like, you're going to be a loser or a failure. I'm thinking, that sounds just like Jesus to that kid. Wow. He's thinking, wow, what a Christ-centered teacher you are. No, he's thinking, wow, this chick is nuts. She's mean. She's rude. And they get away with it. And people will chalk it up for, well, that's the way she is. That's the way he is. I'm like, no, that's all a lie. That's not truth. Plus the way she was doing it was super mean, and she's rude, and she's whatever. I'm like, and she has no patience. She bears no fruit, but she's your Christian spiritual leader at the Christian school. Exactly. So, like you said, my background is a lot of Christian ministry, and so I see it from that end. I'm like, man, wow, that's crazy.
And so all those people are doing this. When somebody comes out, they're going to cover for him because covering for them covers their own tracks.
Right.
And then they can all hide behind, we have to forgive and blah, blah, blah. Fine.
Right.
But there's consequences. There's consequences that must be played out.
Right.
That's between you and God. Whatever your heart is, that's between you and God.
It's all human nature.
And I know this too. People that are sincere in their beliefs in their heart, they will accept the consequences of their actions. They
100%.
will not hide from them.
Right, 100%.
They'll say, you know what? I did that. Right. I'll take responsibility for it. I'll be accountable. And you know what? And God knows my heart, and I'm apologizing, but I will atone. I will pay the earthly.
Right.
If I do a crime, then I'll pay.
But then
they
won't continue in their sin.
And that's when you know if it's sincere or not.
And
if they're not willing to take accountability for their actions and they want to hide behind it.
But look how many guys get away with it for 10, 15, 20 years. You wonder, wait a minute, no one ever corrected you on that? No one ever scolded you on that?
Exactly.
No one ever challenged you on that? And no.
Because when they have their own sins, who are they to judge?
Sure.
Why would they be like, hey, you're doing something, if we're someone's, doing drugs, and then their brother gets caught doing drugs, what are they going to say? Hey, you should stop doing drugs. No, they'd be like, hey, just forgive them because I'm doing the same stuff over here. 100%. Nobody's found me out yet, so let's just keep it undercover. That way everybody can keep doing what they do.
Right.
When we got out of the Christian music industry, we left the States and toured in Europe for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, everything we're talking about is unique to the American Christian church.
I believe that. because it stems all from, so the church, right? The church is supposed to be like everything. It really is. It's supposed to be the game changer, right? So when you look at all the Christian colleges are the exact same way, trying to conform everyone to engineering, like math, all this stuff to make a
but it's
get
an
a job.
American
It's an American culture, and then under that American church umbrella is the Christian colleges, right? And then it's public colleges, but then you have the Christian schools, right? Public schools, whatever, but the schools underneath it. So it's all going downhill, music too, but that's the whole point. The church is no longer doing its own thing. It's doing what the world wants it to do in America. That is why it's so problematic, because America's church is sick, and that is infiltrating every single industry.
And to be fair, like, every country has their own problems stuff like that. But I tell you, when we went to Europe, there was a whole lot
Different
tighter
reality.
community and love. That,
I understand.
Like, when we toured here, it was very competitive, even with the other Christian bands.
Sure.
Very competitive. We had one person in, say, 10 years of touring in the States, one person in a band ever compliment us for our set. One time. Say, hey, you guys, that was really good. Like, one time. Nobody would ever say anything to us. We go to Europe, everybody's so encouraging and supportive of each other.
Do you know?
It's not like, oh, if we say you're good, then that means we're not.
So
everybody is supportive and like encouraging. It's like, that is so cool to be a part of that.
You can't encourage if you're insecure. You can't encourage.
And
if you're fighting for something that you don't have, you're insecure.
It's a
so all those
trademark,
people that are fighting for those labels and fighting for that money and they're insecure, right?
Yep.
So therefore they cannot compliment. They don't know how.
Yep.
Because like, well, they have something that they may say, even if you guys suck, think about this. I used to tell my kids, even if you suck, it's never gonna hurt to just keep and be encouraging. Man, that was pretty good. You guys are gonna be, you got a future or whatever. Yeah. Like encourage. But people can't do that when there's something dying in them. I'm convinced we have taught the outward of man how to be successful, and we've negated the heart of man. And the Bible says that God looks upon the heart.
Yep.
So it's all inside out, backwards, upside down.
Think about here in the States. The culture here is you meet somebody. Oh, you meet somebody for the first time. Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Blah, 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 your name. Oh, what do you do? Everything is about action, action, action. What do you do?
Not who are you?
Who are you?
Amen.
I was
Dude,
like,
you're good.
I'm a musician, not because I play music. I play music because I'm a musician. It's the inside first that takes fruit.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
That's why you helped me with my class, bro. You can help me with those classes?
Yeah.
I seriously.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
like,
serious.
And if you tend to the spirit and soul of somebody in their heart, and you develop that, then the fruits
for the rest of your life.
Fruits are gonna come
for the rest of your life.
But instead, everything here is just, it's like you said, superficial and on the outside.
100%.
What are you doing?
And America is so. There's a school. I mean, as stupid as we get. There's a school you call a school. Well, we are it literally says, well, we are engineering the kids for tomorrow or for their future. I'm like, you don't engineer kids. That sounds like a freaking robot. That's number one. That should scare people right there. And number two, I'm thinking like all people do, like, oh, I graduated with 2 college degrees from high school because I'm so smart. I'm like, how are you gonna make money? And like, no one cares about you. And like, what's the rush? Do you know who you are? They don't know who they are. They're so. If you learn, by the way, as a lesson, if you only learn to impress people, you will be tired out, and for the rest of your life, you'll never understand who you are. So you basically, this is why I'm teaching my class, and this is why I really want you to come, seriously, because I'm trying to teach people through classes, because I don't know how else to get it. They're not going to watch this per se, but work from the inside out. Start working from the inside out. Figure out if you got to work. This is so simple. You guys want to be successful? Freaking so simple. You want money? Super. Think about this. Figure out who you are. Give that a couple of years. But you should have started when you were 4, not when you're 18 and not when you're 40. Exactly. Figure out what you want to do with your life. Okay? If it's build a jet, well, start building a freaking airplane. Start building a jet. It ain't that hard. Figure things out. Then build a remote control jet. Okay? Do it, but work from the inside out and be pure, you'll be your best salesman because you built it from your life, blood, sweat, and tears. You'll be your best marketing guy because this is all about your product, right? Like we work, but no, people will be, oh, I market for other people. I work. That's why you go get jobs, because you don't know who you are. I'm not saying that everyone has a job is kind of lost, but to some degree, I'm kind of saying that a little bit. I mean, yeah, to press the button to make people mad, I'm fine, maybe a little bit. Because everyone goes, what do you want to do in life? I don't really know. I talk with 4-year-olds, what are you doing? Oh, I just work for this company, I like it. What do you do? Well, yeah. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I've thought about this, but I can never get into that. And what they're telling me is like the simplest thing. I'm like, that takes like 3 months of certification training. I don't know why it's so hard.
And it's a cultural thing. Like,
it's a cultural
thing. When you go and you're in other countries and other cultures and you see different ways of doing stuff and you come back here, it's like, we got there's a lot. I'm not bashing the United States. Like, every country's got their problem, and there's a lot of good here.
Right.
But there's a lot of things that are backwards. Like, how many people, being in education, you probably know better. What's the percentage of people that change their majors when they get into college?
Like half, all of them?
Yeah.
Right.
How many start college without even a major?
And then, you know what's funny? You know what's funny is that's also a moneymaker, because let's say you take like 2 years of like quote unquote a general, but that general is for that degree, right? Yeah. So you need let's say you need 1 English class, you need 2 English classes, or 3 psychology classes, but you don't take them because you take the 2, right? So if you change your major,
extra money,
and that's but they'll say, oh, just do it, and they'll try to save you. Some counselor will try to do her job. I'm not saying that's wrong. Everyone's trying to do their due diligence. In fact, I tell my wife this all the time. We're working with the AD at the school. It's not the people. The people are great. It's the machine.
The system.
It's the machine. It's the system, and we're all trying to navigate this. I'm trying to help everyone that I talk with, but I'm just telling you, there's a machine. There's a program. And we're being programmed every day. The music industry for Christian listeners is a program. That's why they only have like 20 songs on their Christian radio show.
And what's the message?
If they got out of their box, who knows how much better the music can be. But they're such in a box. Everyone is such in his little box,
And back to the education. What's the message that people hear here? Oh, take your time. They're not taught to learn themselves. What are they passionate?
That's for another podcast.
They're steered away from that so much. In Europe, I remember we played with, the musicians there are incredible. We played with the Swedish band and rockers, because we're rockers. And sometimes it's hard to know like how good a musician is when they're just like, rocking out, but like backstage, we're tuning up and we're playing. These guys are doing like all these jazz stuff.
That's good.
And we're just like, dude, you guys got some serious chops. And they're like, look, when we're 13 years old is basically our college. They put us in a program, like they're studying music at 13.
They do that. Is that Germany? They do that somewhere else too.
It's a lot in different countries. I know in Sweden and in a lot of
we
Europe,
have
where it's like 13 years old. You're expected to know your gifts, your talents, what you love, and they're training
so ahead of us.
And we'd come back here and be like, what's wrong? And
18-year-old kids lost.
And what we get from here is, oh, that's too young for people to know what they love. Right. We're like, nope. And that's why coming all the way back around why I don't do age. Because it's like you said, if you're 4 or 5 years old and you know your passion, do it.
Robert,
like you said, if building jets is your thing, why are you going to say, no, I have to wait until I'm in college to do? Start now. Right. You're only inhibiting, you're putting all these restrictions on for what?
That's the whole thing with Elon Musk. He even said, like, I basically hire people with like passion, experience. Like, I don't really care about the degree. He literally said that, and people got mad at him. He's like, I'm tired of doing that because they're not. There's not enough producers out there. Yeah. They're all people that are like consumers, which is good for, I guess, the producers and good for people who want to make money off them. But for me as a Christian, my heart is like, I don't want to see God's people behind. Like it's like we've been behind my whole life. The people who I know make money adopt the same principles that I understand. They just have a lot more money because they've been focused on that. I've been doing everything else, learning the hard way, seeing the truths in it, diagnosing the truth, right? And really just going after truth, not about money. But some of these guys who go after the money, or some of my friends, at least they knew what they wanted to do. Like they have they're more linear. They're at peace, joy. Like they're just living a better life with the money.
Yep.
There's so many people that are just miserable with the money. Like, dude, why would you want that? Like, why would you want even the fame? If you were never created for fame, you're gonna live a miserable life. That's why all the famous people are drugs, alcohol, dying, 40 years old, Elvis Presley. I mean, they're all jacked up. There's something to that.
You know what? Isn't it? It's funny how like you see if you were to see a druggie on the side of the road, you would look at him and be like, oh wow,
Poor guy.
Poor
But if
guy.
he's famous,
But if he's famous, and I was like, oh, he's so cool.
isn't that
It's
sick?
like,
It's
no,
delusional. It's sad.
No, the inside is rotten all the same, but because they're dressed up nice and
Or they made a good
have all
song.
the shiny stuff,
Yeah,
and blah blah blah.
yeah.
Like, no, we should. If you're, for the most part, as a general statement, if you're famous, you're a tool, and you're not happy.
Amen. This is good. This is good.
And you know that because they're all on drugs, and if you have peace, which only God can really give us the peace.
Right,
but,
yeah.
and if you have that peace, you don't need the drugs. You don't need all that stuff. You don't have addictions when you have peace and joy in your heart.
Right.
You have all that stuff when you don't have peace.
Right. And money's not just gonna, and they say more money, more problems. You know?
More money, more problems. You know?
And that's, you have to have peace. So we're gonna close this because it's been a long time. I don't know what we're running, but for our listeners, our listening pleasure. But it was good.
Yeah, man.
I think it was great.
It's awesome.
I'm not gonna tell him your age, but he's single. So the older lady's like, oh, that's kind of cool. The young ones too, because he looks so young.
I mean, I'm a man, so
He's a man.
I need a woman.
Oh man.
You know, I need a woman.
I think all in all, we can go away with a few things that God is good. He's the same as today, yesterday, and forever. And people have bought too much into the world, too much into the culture, both on every side, every industry. And I think we just have to be Christians first.
Yeah.
In fact, I would even love to sit down with like a guy like Michael Tate and minister to him, you know, and
They
preach
need it,
identity
man.
to him.
They
You know,
need it.
he went to school, people praise his name, but that's not who he was. You know, I'm convinced that sin becomes so much more exciting when you're not who you are. See, you're supposed to, I'm excited about this podcast. I'm excited about my workout later today. I'm excited about, you know, doing some shirt printing today. I'm excited about my class starting on August, whatever, like next week. I'm excited building stuff, building this, right? And so I don't have to lure myself to sin every day because I'm working towards my gifts, talents, and abilities.
Yep.
Does that make sense? But if you put me in a math class, history, English, stuff that just put me to sleep and told me and forced me to do that, and it was miserable, as a kid, I'm not gonna like go, oh yeah, let me use my time wisely for myself. No, I have no energy. I'm bummed now because I have to do this crap and they're telling me that I have to do this for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be, well, let me just go sin a little bit, man. Let me have some relief. Let me just have some pleasure, maybe some drugs, some alcohol, partying. Let me kind of detox myself. That's what's gonna happen. And so I feel like God's way even helps prevent sin. It even helps us prevent a miserable life. We can have hope, we can have joy, we can actually do these things better. And so